Things are going good in this kingdom of Fantagrande. Birds are chirping, people are harvesting their thirsty crops, islands are falling from the sky. Wait, islands are falling? Very important people gather to discuss this strange phenomenon. And just as Chierocarte tries to propose to dump this conundrum on our laps, a mysterious hooded figure appears, spreading harmful misinformation about us while calling himself an angel. Typical Twitter behavior. He summons his army of followers, the Virtues, and cancels the crap out of everyone in the room, all while our hooded figure sips some stolen espresso, leaving Ciero to once again call out our names. Sometime after that, we are studying to try to raise our intelligence stats in the library, in hopes of becoming 5-head enough to understand why are there islands raining. Obviously, we are failing at that task. Johann starts a lore dump on the tetra elements, which maintain the islands in the sky through attraction and repel, just like a strained marriage. After Johann vents into the secret underground archives, we find a journal written in... Anyways, it explains stuff about how the original primal beasts were made to regulate the world, and the existence of these original primals was buried like the road to Atlantis, with only 4 of them remaining in this world. Well, look at that, that's the same number as the number of regular elements in this game, and they are called the archangels, just like the mysterious hooded figure from before, and they're omnipresent. Wait, does that mean they can watch me right now? And they know about all the staring at Catalina I've been doing? Meanwhile, as we make plans, we are attacked by a group of the hooded angels followers. They hurt Catalina, so I asked to reverse cancel their feathery asses. Even Lyria joins the beatdown, leaving Catalina to scold her. As we go into town, the Virtue Squad is having an absolute meltdown in the streets. I touch hands with Catalina as she sends us off with our daughter Lyria, since we need to leave this battlefield to continue our investigation about the archangels, while Catalina stays behind to deal with the invasion. Also, we got playable Lyria. It was about time we got her to join the work on the farms. We arrive at Port Breeze. Lyria feels the presence of a wind primal and interrupts a serious conversation about the nature of the archangel with the sickest beats imaginable. Meanwhile, Rackham is running away from tax evasion allegations, gets saved by Richard, who immediately tries to scam him. It's HGF Therese that informs the audience that everyone in the Grand Cipher has been accused of the biggest crimes: tax evasion and racism. Oh, and also being responsible for the falling island things, but who cares about that? Back to the captain's group, shit is windier than my bathroom the day after a feijoada dinner. They think the winged Primarch is nearby, but get interrupted by bandits and Twitter users, but are saved last second by Rackham, who stays on the sidelines while my real dark homies step in for some more reverse cancelling. Lyria gets all the credit though, and this is how we find our first archangel friend, Raphael, who controls the wind, and also for some reason appears to be, unfortunately however, wingless. He refuses to elaborate and leaves. We come to Fremel hoping to find the next archangel, and since this is a very fire-themed area, the most likely Primarch to be here is the fire one, Michael. Once we finally arrive to save the day, we find Michael practicing her patinking on Vash, who ended up standing up to the hooded Twitter man. She is wingless, because as soon as she logged into our metaverse to investigate, Sussy Twitter man ambushed her and took her wing NFTs. An angel without wings is weakened, and having more wings means more power and metaverse cloud. We decide to go to Auguste, where the water Primarch might surface. We see Twitterman brooding in the sky for a second, talking to the Lucifers in his head and being nihilistic. And clicky, we jump back now in Auguste to find Eugen being nursed back to health by a very pretty nurse. Michael comes in and calls out on her sussiness. Turns out this nurse was an imposter and actually Gabriel, the water Primarch, who hasn't lost her wings yet, so is keeping them hidden. They decide to spill the beans on the lore. Before even the birth of the Primarchs, the Sky Realm was created as a vast expanse of azure blue, dotted with a multitude of islands. God was split in half, with one part fucking off to somewhere away, and the other remaining in the skies. Eventually, the far advanced race of the Astrals invaded the skies, creating the first primal beasts with the objective of essentially regulating the work. One Astral in particular was too much into Charles Darwin, so he created a primal to oversee evolution, and thus Lucifer was born. He was so proud of his edgy OC, he created the category of Primarch just to make him look more special. eventually becoming the supreme Primarch the other archangels answered to, and overlooking the skies like a type of god. Various other archangels were created in order to help the Astral and Lucifer on their tasks, but over time, the rest of the Astrals became fed up with the biblical OCs and locked them away in the Bad Baby Jail, also known as Pandemonium, an astral prison located on the edge of the sky. And it seems that, when we summoned Proto-Bahamut for the very first time, we might have actually shaken the world and caused the lock on that prison to ever so slightly loosen up. A prison full of ancient primals. Oops. And this seems to be why Twitterman, the 5th Primarch, is out and about. Hearing about this, Lyria starts to feel really bad about it and runs off. We chase her into a town being destroyed by the Twitter mob. Sussy Hoodie catches up to our 2 angel friends and Michael attacks him. Rosetta and Yggdrasil find an old astral hard drive full of nudes and receipts on the old primals, about how some of the original beats became radicalized and started a revolution only to be put in the Bad Baby Jail. While muttering about stuff we already know by now, she seems to find Uriel, the Earth Primarch, revealing Twitterman got hired for a position he didn't like, and therefore was pissed at the Supreme Primarch. Okay, that sounds relatable and sympathetic. And taking part in a failed revolution was how he got stuck in Pandemonium. The clash between Michael and Sussy Twitter Hoodie finally reveals his identity. Lucifer's tier 5 30-month sub owner, Sandalphon. Oh no guys, prepare for the fangirl stampede, is hot. He whines for a long time about having no purpose and being just a toy, only to realize Gabriel was just stalling for time for her and Michael to go Super Saiyan and destroy Gabriel's wings in an effort of keeping Sandalphon from obtaining all sets necessary to complete the Supreme Primarch NFT deck build. With no Gabby wings in the table, he starts aiming his sights for Verns all of a sudden, catching the attention of every officer in the vicinity. Despite our efforts to stop him, it is Lyria that stands in Sandalphon's way at the very last instant, which leads her to be taken as an hostage. Lyria dreaming of Sandy's memories, showing how much of a Lucifer simp and a rebel without a purpose he is. And Lucifer just tells him to shut up and keep scrolling through Twitter. In fact, not even Lucifer seems to know why the fuck this child exists, as he goes to talk to his creator over it, who reveals Sandalphon is but a backup Lucifer. Do I even need to tell you Sandy heard all of that and became emo over it? Back in the real world, Sandalphon reveals to Lyria they are right now in a place where an astral research lab formerly stood, and declares his future victory, to which Lyria replies that I am super strong both in fists and in words, and how amazing a captain I am. Sandalphon just says that all of this is according to his Keikaku, and tells her to go to sleep. We arrive to get Lyria back. We talk smack to each other until Lyria brings out her secret weapon, the receipts of Sandy's tier 5 subscriptions to Lucifer's Twitch channel. Pissed at losing his hostage, he tries to commit violence, but is stopped by Plant Mommy. Without his hostage, Sandalphon shoots a Kamehameha blocked by Yggdrasil using Uriel's password. Uriel calls him a baka, which hurts Sandy's feelings so much he grows the size of an airship. The Grand Cypher shows up and just giga-drill breaks Kaiju Sandy with the help of Raphael's power. We jump on the airship and finally fight the Archangel. We defeat Kaiju Angel Sandalphon, making him lose his wings as he falls to the ground. Michael says Owarida, and the Archangels prepare their punishment, but Lyria uses the ancient technique of Talk no Jutsu, saying that, at the end of the day, we can just blame all our problems on the Astrals. We say GG's to each other and shake hands, because it was a pretty good Granblue Fantasy versus after all, as Sandy resigns himself to getting punished like the bad boy he is by Lucifer later tonight. As he gets closer to me, Sandalphon whispers to me something about me being the main character of the universe, and just pushes us off the island because actually he just wants to watch the world burn. Like Goku after Krillin dies, something seems to change in Lyria and Vern, causing another big roar to shake the skies. We feel like we are falling forever, like a video game character that just clipped through the floor. We start getting bored and proceed to look at some flashbacks to pass the time. A BDSM dragon appears, telling us it's time for our ultimate main character test, personality test. He asks us about whether we would rather save our daughter or our lizard. And obviously, as a true Seigi no Mikata, you pick both. He asks what drives us to our journey, and obviously we pick
my friends are my power.
We suddenly awaken from our daydreaming, back to where we were before. No one seems to know what happened, so let's chalk that up to Lyria and Vern summoning the awesome power of plot armor to teleport us back from Arm. Meanwhile, Sandy is livid because, this time, the war didn't open up Pandemonium, Instead, Lucifer shows up. Sandy and Lucy look at each other very intensely. Sandy assumes pandemonium won't open because Lucy manifested, an assumption that the sexier angel confirms. Sandalphon spills out all his woes for all to see now. Lucifer says that, actually, Sandy having no special role made him feel like an equal, and that made him feel tranquil. Sandy keeps lashing out, admonishing Lucy for not just punishing him like the very ooh bad boy he has been for the past 2000 years. Lucy says, "I've been a bad boy too, ooh," and tells him to take solace in his core and roars Sandalphon through his wings. Lucifer thanks us for everything, saying Sandalphon is now inside him. Michael offers up to spar someday, and all the angels said their goodbyes as they vanish. We get to see what all the low rarity characters who showed up in this event are up to after the battles against the Twitter army died out. And everything seems to be going back to normal. As we chill on our airship, Lyria finally asks the question we've been all waiting for.
そういえば、どうして空って青いんでしょうか?
So with the main event done, now it's time to just beat the crap out of Sandalphon again and again for 3 weeks straight to farm for stuff, because grinding is all we do in this game. There's also this extra chapter where you battle BDSM Dragon God as a test of your powers, which awards you with some extra stuff and is necessary to unlock the next part of this trilogy, where a new malicious entity is erecting.